It's the Jack and Nick Horror Show.
Hey Nick, a lot of people did their 2018 list already, and we're late again.
Mm-hmm. It happens. But honestly, last year we did it in like March. So here we are in January at least, right?
Yeah, we're like, our listeners, not being sexist, our listeners are like the boyfriend that waits for the girlfriend to find out if she's going to have her period. And here we are with an exclamation point.
My God.
No, it's true. It's like, are they gonna do a top list this year? The one person is wondering that.
Yeah. Our one listener, Sean Kelly. Hello, listeners who are not Sean Kelly and Sean Kelly. Nice to hear you. Nice to know you.
Nice to. I can't hear them, but it's nice to talk with you, or at you, or in. Okay, so Nick, one thing you love to do is
at the end of the year tell you what was the best thing that year.
Correct. You love numbers, and another thing that you love every holiday is
presents.
Well, yeah, you definitely love presents, but you also love what
organizing those numbers. What do I do?
Well, I'll read it to the listeners here.
Oh, getting sick?
Yes.
That's what I do every New Year's.
Here's Nick. Last week. Hey, I'm sick as hell today. Gonna have to pass on recording. Sorry. Wah, wah, wah.
I really said it too.
He did it. And then he asked me about a movie if I had seen on Netflix. And I said, nope. So anyway, Nick, this is our top 5, bottom 1 loser of the year.
Oh, yes.
It's just the movie that we didn't like at all. And everybody has at least one of those per year, so we just pick one.
And 5 that we really enjoyed.
5 that we really enjoyed. So we're doing that. We're also going to do listener top 5 and bottoms. We're going to talk about your bottoms, listeners, and maybe some other stuff. Maybe not. Who knows?
It really is my favorite of the year. Like I love.
Yeah. This is what you look forward to.
I know, every year. Just like I'm gonna start plugging it now. Tune in next year, a year from right now. We're gonna do 2 things: best of 2019, whatever 5 movies we love and 1 we hate, and then we're gonna do. And I've been waiting for this since 2011. I made Jack swear we're gonna do it. We're really gonna do it. We're gonna do the best of the decade in horror, and we'll each pick maybe we'll do 10 and bottom 5. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think it's going to be wonderful, but that's next year. This year, we look back at the year that was. It was 2018, and it was a good year for horror. But we gotta play a song, and then we talk about our picks, right? We gonna do that?
Yes.
Do it. All right, so those of you unfamiliar with how Jack and I do this, every year we take 5 movies we loved and 1 we hate, and we discuss them in order. We start at number 5 of the top, go all the way up to number 1, and then we tell you the worst. So it's top 5, bottom 1. Make sense? It makes sense to me. It makes sense to Jack. I hope it makes sense to you. So I'm actually going to talk about my number 5 first. And it's a movie Jack did not see. And it was really hard for me to pick a number 5. Like, I have my top 4 are easy because I loved all of them. My number 5, there was almost 5 movies that got into this top 5. Oh, Jack, spoiler alert for my top 5.
Uh-huh.
I do not have Hereditary. Mm-hmm. I do not have what's The Quiet Place? A Quiet Place?
Mm-hmm.
I do not have it. And those are my two spoilers I'm going to give you. I did not pick either of those movies for my top 5. Maybe I'm being a smarmy little bastard doing that. I don't know. But neither of those were in my top 5, so I picked 5 other movies that I really enjoyed. And it's because I enjoyed these more than Hereditary or A Quiet Place. And I know some people will hate me for not putting them in because you're supposed to put them in, or like Bird Box or something, which I did not put Bird Box in there either. So anyway, here's my top 5 that do not include Hereditary, A Quiet Place, or Bird Box. Number 5 was the hardest pick, and I'm not going to tell you the runners-up. You just got to guess them. But I'm actually picking a movie that was almost barely I almost feel like I shouldn't pick this one because it's barely even a horror movie. It's just kind of dark comedy, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a really clever movie and a really fun movie. And it is Penn Jillette's director's cut. I say Penn Jillette. He didn't direct it. He wrote it, and it was directed by Adam Rifkin. And it's a very hard to explain movie, but when you watch it, it makes total sense. But it is a dude who is the killer, or not killer, kidnapper, stalker, crazy man trying to kill someone. Well, he's obsessed with a movie star, Missy Pyle, and she's making a movie. And he kidnaps her during the making of the movie and then uses the movie that was being made and edits himself into the movie and provides the commentary for the movie that you are watching at the same time. Did you follow that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
I fucking wrote it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's real, like, you know, I know, like, Jack and I have talked about this before.
I didn't write it, by the way.
No, but one of the things that, like, we kind of like is, like, the old Warner Brothers cartoon, Duck Amuck, where Donald is being, or Daffy Duck is being, like, tormented by the person writing and animating the cartoon. Mm-hmm. And it's very surreal and kind of just, like, weird in a really sublime and clever way. And I love that sort of thing. And I like it when it blends, when any sort of media takes on that, like, weird meta tone. So it's pretty weird, and it's also kind of funny, and it was really clever. And therefore it's my, like, after I watched that movie, I was like, just elated. Like, I was like, I had so much fun watching this movie. It's not like laugh out loud hilarious the whole time, but it's things that I knew I was watching in this movie only, and I will never see in another movie again, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's not perfect. That's why it's number 5 on the list. It's not perfect. Like I said, it's not super funny. It's funny enough, but it's more clever than it is hilarious. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, just listen to the description I gave. That is literally the movie, and I can't even be clearer about it. And I don't mean to sound vague. It's just a weird movie. And it was filmed when Penn Jillette was still fat. Now he's not fat. And I love Penn Jillette. I listen to his podcast. I watch all sorts of Penn and Teller stuff, not just because of the magic. I really like him I like his musings and the stuff he talks about. So I really enjoy Penn Jillette in general, and to see him in a weird movie like that. And I'm laughing now at some of the goofy shit in the movie that he does. And I would recommend it for Jack. I would not recommend it for everyone. And there were some really fine horror movies that are much more horrific that did not make my top 5. And I enjoyed them. I feel like I should mention them, but I'm really against having runners up because I like picking the hard 5 and that's it. So I'm only picking the hard 5. I'm not telling you my runners up. But I will tell you if one of the runners up was one of the ones that Jack has. So Jack, what's your number 5 of the year?
Well,
2018.
Before I begin, I want to let you know that the strange color of your body's tears is not on my top.
Right. See, we have another rule that I didn't mention. The movie has to have sort of come out this year.
Right.
By that, I mean, you know, it's available to the masses this year.
Right.
Like Penn Jillette's, what was it? Director's cut technically came out in 2016, but it only came out on VOD earlier this year. It was not in theaters. It played at like TIFF or something, the Toronto International Film Festival. Just like there are in fact, almost every other movie on my list played last year, except for one of them. And they weren't available to the masses till this year. So I would like you could look at a movie, like any movie like that came out this year. But Jack, for some reason, picks the strange color of my body's tears. Is that it?
Of your body's tears.
Of your body's tears. He picks it every year. So if you're new to the show, that's why Jack said that. I'm kind of rambling and talking all over everything. So go ahead, Jack.
Okay. So my top 5, I've said this before on a previous show when it became a big to-do, especially with an asshole. But I don't like ranking movies because for myself, it's really difficult to do that because your mood changes all the time. Like one day you're in the mood for Die Hard, but the other day you're in the mood for, I don't know, Goodfellas, or Grease, who knows? So anyway, my top 5 are still ranked, but think of them all as number 1s. Reason being is they are all different than each other. So not one movie on this list is the same or very close to the other. So one of which, number 5, is something that, Nick, I know you haven't seen, and some people wouldn't even consider it a horror movie, but I do if you consider The Purge a horror movie.
I do.
It's called Assassination Nation.
Oh, God damn it. Dude, I was going to watch that movie the other day. I was going to watch it the other day. And I was like, it was either that or Venom. Okay? And here's the
you chose wrong.
Partly because my wife had a vote. So it was partly her
she
fault.
has terrible taste.
Second off,
she didn't. And listeners, hit New Jersey Nick on Twitter constantly begging him to watch Bro and Cell Block 99. Please, just do it. Tell him that his wife is wrong.
I'm gonna watch it. But dude, no, I wanted to watch that movie. The second reason was we were watching movies on New Year's Eve, and Venom, the time length of the movie matched up closer to midnight. Right. So we were like, well, we better watch that because otherwise Assassination Nation would run over, and that
Lauren and I do that sometimes too, but not this time. This time I said when she came home, I said, we're watching this. I'm watching this again right now.
I so wanted to watch that movie. That movie probably would have been in my top 5.
Okay.
Right? Because tell me about it. Well, tell me about it without spoiling it, because I still want to see it.
It's directed by Barry Levinson's son, number 1.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, so it's his son. But he actually is completely different than what his dad does. So what this movie is kind of like a teen drama, very, very artsy-fartsy, like colorful and gritty and all that. But it is a big social satire commentary on exactly what's going on in the United States today with women and how they're treated, transgender people how they're treated, black people how they're treated, and it just mashes it all together and how men can be. It's not saying it's very heavy-handed, but it does it in an entertaining and very gut punch way.
Right.
Okay. So if you're not in the mood for that shit, just go the fuck away from it. Don't even go near it. But I thought the cast was absolutely spectacular. Joel McHale is in it, and Joel McHale can play sleazy very well. Even Bill Skarsgård is in it as well. But I'm not going to talk about Bill Skarsgård. Bella Thorne is actually good in the movie. But the main 4 girls, what is it? Odessa Young, Abra, Suki Waterhouse, and then Hari Nef, who is the transgender character. Absolutely, and it's one of those things that they don't necessarily make a big deal about it. It's just like, hey, here's this person who is this. It's not like, and by the way, but it's very. The thing is that the first, it feels like kind kind of Donnie Darko-ish too, which is what I liked about it. I know you don't like that movie, Nick.
No,
But-
and the movie, just to I don't think you actually said like what happens in it.
Oh yeah. Basically, what happens is I didn't want to spoil too much of the plot, but basically, there are 4 girls who all hang out together, and it just shows you their relationships and who they're hooking up with, who they're not, and you get a lot of text messages and all that. But then what happens is it's mostly about their town, which is Salem. And it's kind of based on the Salem witch trials, kind of like a big thing about what happens in the world today.
Right, but doesn't
especially.
like the whole town get hacked? That's in the trailer.
Yes. The whole town does get hacked, and the first person they go after is the principal of the school. Or no, not the principal of the school. Sorry. He's like a senator or like a governor who's also who was a football coach for the high school, and it just shows how people attack this guy and say, you're a piece of shit, and he's like, but listen, basically the guy was just covering up the fact that he was gay. And people because he was an uber Republican, so they're like, you're a scumbag, you lied to us, I hope you die, and all that kind of stuff. Not going to say what happens. So then they go after the principal. And then the entire town gets hacked, and everybody's text messages and everything they have ever sent to anybody else is at people's disposal. They can just open up a folder and see your entire text history. If you were flirting with somebody's husband, or you were sending nudie pics to somebody,
right,
they could see everything.
This was literally the plot of a couple of South Park episodes last year, wasn't it?
I believe so. But what transpires is people start to dress up like the Purge and go after... It's all guys. They all go after who's responsible for this, and the fingers get pointed towards the girls who have nothing to do with it. They're the ones that got hacked as well.
Right.
So
But the trailer looks awesome. It looks just like exactly the type of movie I like that super dark, sort of a comedy, but not a comedy, a satire.
Well, yeah, it's definitely that, and a lot of the shot choices in this are like they'll hit you. Like, I'll just say one thing, and it's not really spoiling. I'll just say that somebody gets shot and killed, and the camera is fixed on him. There's actually a lot of homages to Dario Argento in this movie too, by the way, and they're very subtle, very subtle. It's like a long pan shot, exactly like Argento did in what was it, Tenebrae. And there's Bird with a Crystal Plumage music from Ennio Morricone in it, throughout. Even the Pixies is in it. It's like a good soundtrack too. But there's a shot that somebody gets shot, and then when they do, the camera just does it spins and goes down to the ground with the character from afar. Though it doesn't zoom in on them. It's it spins to their body, almost like Upgrade, which didn't make my list but was fucking awesome. But it's kind of it's super cool movie, very heavy-handed, but I don't mind that when it's done right and done well and entertaining.
Right.
I'll just say one thing before I close with this, and it's not a spoiler. The end credit sequence of this I absolutely loved, and it's different. It's completely different, but it is such a bold statement on a certain subject that if you know what I'm talking about, if you're watching it and you see it, you're gonna be like, I know exactly what they're doing right here, and that's all I'm gonna say. You'll see what I mean if you see the movie. If you don't see the movie, it's too bad or good for you, because a lot of people call it style over substance or too heavy-handed, but I enjoy
That's all the stuff I love is style over substance.
I loved it, dude. It's just,
the look of the trailer, it really gives me the vibe of Bobcat Goldthwait's God Bless America,
Kind
which is
of.
another movie I really enjoyed.
It's kind of you'll see it's very neon too, but it's not
I
80s.
love neon
I
movies.
know, but it's not like it's not 80s. It feels very 90s, like a 90s movie mixed with a 2018 movie. So it's there are so many characters and stuff too, but the plot flows. Oh man, some of the violence is absolutely great. The yeah, it's just you can't stop watching because you want to see what happens next. And I'm glad I didn't spoil because there's some graphic stuff in this movie that's
Awesome.
pretty cool.
I look forward to seeing it still
Yeah,
because
so,
I really want to.
but the reason I said it's like a lot of people don't deem it horror, but it has a lot of horror in it towards the end. But go on.
All right, you want me to talk about my number 4, or you want to do yours? You want to go back and forth? Or?
I want you to do yours.
All right, number 4. Number 4 is an actual horror movie. It is a sci-fi horror movie, and you may have forgotten about it because it came out back in January when it was in theaters. And it's a lot of goddamn fun. No, it's not. It's not really fun. But it was a great movie to watch. It's Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Man, did I like that movie.
Hey, Nick, can I just, spoiler alert, guess what my number 4 is?
Is it Annihilation?
Annihilation.
Let's discuss. I love it when we pick the same thing for the same number. So Annihilation kicked ass. This movie is made by the guy who made Ex Machina.
Yes.
And it is about 4 women
5.
who are on a military team. 5?
Yeah.
Who go into a quarantined area that has been quarantined by the U.S. government because of some sort of giant shimmering force field that surrounds it, and anybody who goes in does not come out. It's in some sort of like bayou area, like in Florida Panhandle or Louisiana or something, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason that this team goes in is because the one woman, played by Natalie Portman, whose name I forget the character of, Lena goes in because her husband came out, and he was all messed up after having gone into the shimmering force field called the Shimmer. And it is what happens in the Shimmer. There's no way that we can possibly explain everything that happens, but it becomes very much like
it's like Predator.
It is very much like Predator. It takes shots from Alien.
Except it's also like The Abyss.
Oh my, yeah. It is like a bunch of other movies all mixed together.
It's its own animal.
Right. And it has a great score, a synthy mess of a score, with at least one song called, I believe, Alien, that I have listened to like a bunch this year. You'd think I would remember the name of it. But I mean, my God, like, I think it's actually called The Alien. So look up The Alien from Annihilation. No, wait, don't look that up because then you're going to spoil something, possibly an alien.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So, and I mean, there are monsters in this movie. There are weird, surreal, dreamlike things in this movie.
Imagine if The Happening were good.
The Happening. My God.
But it's kind of like The Happening too, in a way. Not that people are necessarily killing themselves, but it's nature kind of taking over things. It's
nature from another world, though.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. It is a look at how nature works, and by that I mean like how bioorganisms assimilate and grow, and like there's no reason in this movie for this sort of for the seemingly alien or otherworldly or interdimensional things that are happening to be happening. It's not like in any other movie where it's like the aliens are here and they've got their guns and they're taking all women. You know, it's not like that. It's not Independence Day. It's just a thing that happens, a phenomenon, you know?
Imagine imagine what's her name? Jennifer Jason Leigh. Just like, dude, she is so haunting in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's a moment towards the end where it's like, you know, the eyes, if you will, you know what I'm talking about, that aren't there, and the way that she's talking and stuff. It's Jennifer Jason Leigh is still one of the best actresses in Hollywood. If people really, I mean, she doesn't get naked in this one. Neither does she in Hateful Eight. But before that, almost every movie she got naked in. Every time, it's like Jennifer Jason Leigh is in it. It's like, oh, it's what? No, there's her boobs. Okay, but imagine if this had become like a big hit, and imagine if we had gotten the other, books turned into movies of a trilogy. But I think this movie's good
I didn't
by itself.
actually read the books. Did you?
No. But I refuse to, only because I enjoyed the movie so much that I don't want it ruined by the book.
Right. I've heard that the book, some people describe the book as being better and also slightly different. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel like I need it because I feel like the movie is really very, very good on its own. And yeah, I do kind of wish that this movie had been the hit that Hereditary was.
Right.
I think that this movie, and again, I don't think Hereditary is bad. Hereditary's not in my top 5, not because it's bad, but because it didn't affect me the same way that Annihilation did.
Right.
And I feel like I don't think that these are two movies that you can necessarily compare to each other than the fact that they're both artistically sound movies that are very well acted. Like Annihilation could be up for an Oscar for all I can't imagine why it wouldn't be.
Kind of
but it
F
won't
the
be,
Oscars, but yeah. Because that's why we say F the Oscars, because movies like this are ignored anyway, and nobody cares about them because they have. Anyway, fuck the Oscars. Nick.
Yeah.
I got a question. Oh, by the way, everybody see Annihilation. It's good if you like.
Right, it's on VOD and Blu-ray and everything else now.
It does have one of the most. By the way, another movie I would compare to is Event Horizon, because it has like a video, and I keep hitting my printer with my hand. But
oh my god, that video in this movie,
the video
where the movie suddenly changes into a found footage movie as you watch this video that they found, and it's insane. It's better than, and I remember saying this at the time, that little bit of video is better than like so many found footage movies I've seen.
Yeah.
And man, and also just like some really horrific stuff towards the end that like is so I keep using the word surreal, but so otherworldly. Yeah. Like you're watching a nightmare unfold before you, and that is beautiful. And like, what more in horror could you possibly ask for? And
another thing too, before I continue with my list and Nick does with this, one thing you may notice with the list is that I have already said these movies are not like each other. A lot of people complain that movies are not original these days, but a lot of these movies that I'm mentioning are pretty goddamn original.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they have homages and shit here and there. You can't escape that because the whole generation pretty much grew up watching movies as fucking babysitters or TV as babysitters. But these are all very different movies. And yeah, Annihilation and Assassination Nation has like the main characters are all girls. Okay, whatever. Not the same movie. All right, Nick, what is your number 3?
You want to know mine?
I want to go yours.
All right, let's go back to me then. This number 3 is probably the most, I would say, mainstream movie on my list, even though it was a complete box office failure.
Guess what mine is?
No way.
The Predator.
You son of a bitch. So, just to recap, your number 5 was a dark comedy that's barely horror. My number 5 was a dark comedy that's barely horror. Yep. Your number 4 was Annihilation. Your number 3 was The Predator. Yep. Mine is The Predator. So our lists are nearly identical.
I guarantee our number 2 is completely different.
And then our number 1 is the same. That's how
Possibly,
this list
yeah.
goes. This is amazing. I fucking love this. Oh man. So if you want to hear two people completely agree on everything, except not have seen the same movies. So yeah, man. If you listen to last episode, Jack and I love The Predator.
We love
I think
it.
it is the most underrated movie this year. And I can't believe people hated that movie, and it was so fun. I feel like we said so much about it last time that I don't really have a lot more to add to it.
Me neither, but I'll
It's
say
just so fun.
I'll say this. I this is another movie that I watched. I completely enjoyed, and I said, I got to show this to my girlfriend when she comes home. So my girlfriend, much like many guys' girlfriends, she doesn't really like misogyny, and a lot of people have called The Predator misogynist. They're like, this movie is misogynist. These guys are assholes. It's just like a hate women, and it's
Frat
shitty.
party.
Yeah. She loved it, and she doesn't like macho men bullshit. The dude bros, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved all the characters. She absolutely loved everybody in the movie. So, I mean, granted, that's one person, but it just goes to show you that it may not be a bad idea to dip your little patties in the water. Don't listen to people when they say, I mean, you'll listen to us when we give you our bottom one, but don't listen to people when they tell you, this movie sucks, don't go see it. It's
Right.
like, just be your own. The one thing that annoys me, I noticed this in horror groups and all that, people, Nick, you gotta see this. They go, I just bought this movie. I'm about to pop it in. How is it? What do you guys think? Should I watch it? Like, why the fuck did you buy it in the first place? And what is other people's opinions on a movie going to do for you? Make up your own mind, asshole.
Yeah, right. Don't listen to podcasts like us.
Yeah. No, but like, you can listen to a podcast after you had seen a movie, or
That's what
just
I do.
listen to a recommendation of, hey, these guys like this movie, and then they watch it and they're like, this movie sucks. You're allowed to do that because you're your own person. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Try it once.
Speaking of the whole misogyny thing too.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that annoyed me about Annihilation, and I'm sorry
I
that this
love
came to me
naked
after.
women. No. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
we all do. It's wonderful. But Annihilation came out, and it's a movie full of women.
Right.
And nobody made a big deal out of this like they do for they make a big deal out of it in stupid movies where they're like, oh, what a strong female character, and it's like Annihilation comes out, they're not making a big deal out of the strong female characters. There are 5 of them,
Yeah.
and the movie's excellent, and y'all slept on it, and I'm still mad at you.
Yep.
But anyway, The Predator, y'all slept on it, and I'm mad at you. Like, why are we, Jack and Nick, watching the movies that everyone else is sleeping on? Like, there's no excuse for and this is still what annoys me these past couple of years in horror. You see so many people going out to see every ghost movie that comes out. And like as in general, as horror fans and as podcasters, we've stopped sort of talking about the ghost movies and all that because the spooky stuff doesn't do it for me anymore. I need something more visceral,
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, The Predator, Annihilation, both sci-fi horror movies, action-packed, and, but everybody's not watching them. It's like you keep going back to these ghost movies and then complaining that there's nothing creative because all you're watching are James Wan movies.
Right. Or
Stop watching those.
Or you don't
What?
go see The Predator. It bombs at the box office, and then you get all the other junk, and then you watch The Predator, and you're like my ass, and you're like, man, this movie's great. I should have seen it in the theater. But then you have like months of bullshit that all the cows are going to go see because, hey, let's go in for cheap thrills, let's go get her spook on. Ooh, that creepy doll. I've seen creepy dolls for the past 5-6 years. It's time to move away from creepy dolls.
Oh my god, yeah, creepy dolls,
Creepy kids.
and like the latter Insidious movies and the Conjuring sequels.
I like the Insidious movies, but I don't need one every other year.
I hear this one was pretty bad, the one that came out this
The
year.
Last Key I haven't seen. I heard it's very horror-ish though. like that.
Slender Man looked like shit. I skipped it.
Fuck that noise. There are a lot of horror movies that I myself did not see, so don't understand that my top 5 is not like the best movies. They're just my
Yeah, of course, they're
movies
your
I love.
personal thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's discounting that.
Yeah.
Now,
we're not professional critics. We have a life.
I feel like, well, anyway, so there's The Predator.
Yeah.
Go see The Predator.
Nick, I'm curious about your number 2.
My number 2 is definitely not your number 2 because you did not see this movie, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Currently streaming on Shudder from Estonia. The first Estonian horror movie I think ever made. And it is called November. And
I love November.
you saw it?
No, I didn't watch it. I know you told me all about it though, but good.
Oh, you should have seen it because it's awesome.
You should have seen fucking Brawl Cell Block 99, but you got a wife that doesn't want to see good movies.
I know. I don't know what the problem is. So anyway, this one called November
Love you, Kelly.
it's extremely hard to explain because, okay, it is about it is kind of a weird, horrific fairy tale based on Estonian folklore. And it takes place in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it is in black and white. And I mean, you can watch the trailer
Pass.
for it, but I don't think right. A lot of people already checked out because I said Estonian. So the movie has all sorts of like different weird things in it from folklore that just continuously appear and things you've never heard of before. And I've described it on the show once when I briefly reviewed it earlier this year. I forget which episode exactly, but the movie starts with these mechanized automatons made out of gardening tools called Kratt, Kratt, start turning on their master, and they seek to work in the yard. And man, if you don't give those Kratts work, they will come at you. That's what I learned from this. And then there's werewolves, and then there's like ghosts that come from the lands beyond. You know what this movie actually reminds me of as I'm talking about it more is the movie it's a 1990s Italian movie, and I know Jack's seen it, Cemetery Man. What the hell's the name of it? Della Morte or something? Come on, you said it.
Yeah, it's Cemetery Man, Delamore.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And you remember how that movie, like, there's a plot, but the plot kind of meanders between these other intersecting weird things that continuously happen inexplicably, and then the devil shows up. And it is not the devil like you'd picture in like American Cool and Sleek Devil. No, this is the Estonian devil, right? Mm-hmm. And he is weird, and he's like a bonkers off the wall forest nymph of some sort, and it is crazy. And it is an excellent depiction of the devil. Mm-hmm. And there are other things that happen in the movie, such as they keep talking about how they're going to go to the Baron's estate. A Baron. Baron. And then they go to the Baron's estate, and the Baron is played by Dieter Laser, who is, the doctor in Human Centipede 1, and the crazy warden in Human Centipede 3. And he's one of the greatest things you can watch on film, even though he doesn't do much in this movie. I love Dieter Laser. Like, I have a very weird list of my favorite actors that excite me in movies, like Richard Brake, who no one knows, who was Doomface.
People know him.
In 31, and he was the original Night's King. I love that guy. He's fucking great. And the one I just said, who is it? Dieter Laser. Mm-hmm. Like, if I see Dieter Laser in a movie, when I see Dieter Laser in a movie, I'm like, oh my god, it's Dieter Laser. That's how I am. Who's some of my other favorite actors? Give me one.
You have
Malcolm McDowell.
But
that's not very mainstream. I mean, it is for horror fans, but regular people barely know who he is. And there's a few others. Anyway, the point is, November is a meandering, dreamlike. See how I said dreamlike instead of surreal? Collection of folklore and fairy tales from Estonia, and it is horrific and weird, and it seems like a nightmare at times. I love it when a movie seems like a nightmare, like when they're just like, reality has broken down and now you are seeing the weird. That's how a nightmare works. That's how your dreams work. When you're sleeping, you realize you're in a dream because you see something that's just like, that's not possible, that can't be. November, the whole movie's like that, and I love it. It's on Shudder. And it is one of the best movies on Shudder right now. I wish we had like a link that I could be like, click our link to get Shudder, and then we'll get $1. But they haven't given us that yet.
Nah, they won't. There are other podcasts that are way more high profile than we are.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, we are the low beans on the beanstalk. So, Jack, you're number 2. Now, I'm going to guess I have not seen it, and it's completely different than November.
You would be wrong.
Really?
But it's definitely completely different than November.
So it's one I saw.
Yeah, and this sounds ridiculous, but...
I know it. I can tell you it.
Go ahead, what is it?
It's Strangers Prey at Night.
It fucking sure is. I fucking love that movie. And here's why. Again, just to fucking reiterate. It's a stupid horror movie. It's stupid. But that's why I love it. It knows what it is. It's way more fun than the original, which is depressing as shit. Mm-hmm. And people get their comeuppance. There's none of this, let's feel like dog shit after we watch a movie. No, you're like, yeah, that was fun. Great music. Yeah. The soundtrack, great set pieces.
Lots of neon.
It's wonderful. And now all the movies sound alike, don't they? No, but it's something it's the first horror movie this year that I popped in and I said, I fucking really like this horror movie. It was a horror movie that I'm like, this is fucking wonderful. I absolutely love it. And then I watched it again and I'm like, oh my God, this is even better than it was the first time I watched it.
Dude, it is that movie is the modern equivalent of a video store rental that is better than you expected it to be.
Yeah.
It really is. It felt like when I watched it, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be. And then I watched it and I was like, that was fun. It was watchable. I had no point where I was like, how much longer is left in this movie? I have to check the time. I didn't have to watch it in 2 sittings. All of the things I just said, I kind of describe Bird Box, where when I was watching that movie on Netflix, and I know everybody out there has seen it, except for maybe Jack, but
I haven't.
Do you know how many streams that movie had in its first week?
A lot.
45 million.
Yeah, more than any movie in Netflix's history.
Right. I mean, it's literally probably one of the most watched movies, not just of the year, but like in like current times that like that many people put it on. But I was like an hour into that movie and I'm nodding off and I'm like, how much is left? And we had to watch it over 2 nights. Mm-hmm. Strangers Prey at Night, you watch as one continuous thing. It is a fun ride. And I enjoyed it. I didn't really love it, but I mean, I certainly enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. If a movie could make me like an Air Supply song, then it did its job. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good test.
I mean, if I can listen to an Air Supply song away from the movie that's in the movie and get chills because I enjoyed the movie scene in which that song is depicted that much, it deserves all the credit. I just absolutely loved it. I know there are some people that completely disagreed with me on Facebook, but you know what? I don't care because that's their opinion, man.
Right, and you know I don't even mind. You know, there's probably people who watch that and are just like, oh God, it's another cheapo slasher movie, and in a way they're right. But that movie, for me, hits the spot. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like just that movie that's like, I haven't seen you for a while, old friend. Even though it's not an old movie,
right?
It's just that type of thing that's just there, and it's not stupid. It's never feels gratuitous. It doesn't feel like it's trying too hard. It
Right.
doesn't feel like it's trying too hard at any point.
No.
And so many movies that we watch these days feel like they're trying so hard to emulate the 80s that they got to reference all these movies and have characters dressed like it's the 80s. And like this movie doesn't do that, number one.
It has 80 songs.
And it has an 80s feel and like tacky 80s neon at that swimming pool scene, which is a fantastic scene. And you know, it's got those things, but you know, I would compare it more to a movie like You're Next, where
Yeah.
it removes the elements from those movies, but in concentrate and not in an overt way where it's like going to reuse these themes and shots in a way that makes you like you know, feel the wink wink and nudge nudge. We're an 80s movie, wink wink nudge nudge, like that all these other movies are doing, that makes me want to like strangle people.
But there are a lot of wink winks in the movie, like, you know, the Christine thing, the Texas Chainsaw thing, all that stuff. But it does it like with its own flair and just like, yep, we love this shit too. We don't care. We're just gonna make this prolonged scene of a car on fire chasing
Exactly.
someone, and it's, oh my god, it's just if I could, I'm not gonna go sexual. All right, Nick, should we discuss our number one?
Well, our number one was reviewed, and we didn't discuss this beforehand, but
No.
we know we're in agreement. 2 episodes ago, we reviewed the masterpiece of modern horror, starring Nicolas Cage, from Panos Cosmatos. It's Mandy.
Oh,
Go watch it. It's on Shudder. It's on demand. It's a wonderful movie.
Oh.
It is. What?
I thought you were choosing Halloween.
Did you choose Halloween?
Yeah,
No, you chose Mandy, didn't
I
you?
did. I just Mandy.
I know you chose Mandy.
Yeah.
Well, I knew. Because we said it that episode that we were both like,
yeah. I mean, we already gave it away. Spoiler.
there's no way any movie could top that for me. Yes, it's got
But
neon.
it's-
Yes, it's, once again, surreal. I love surreal movies. Like, give me surreal weirdness. Give it to me. And this movie is like, if I was a baby bird, Mandy is my mama bird opening its mouth and regurgitating sweet weirdness into my little beak.
The movie has, think about this, it's a revenge movie, a cult movie, a demon movie, a drug-fueled movie, a chainsaw movie, a neon movie, an 80s movie,
A synth score.
a synth movie, an Italian movie,
A Nicolas Cage movie.
a
Did you say
Nicolas
that?
Cage movie, a French movie, a Bill Duke movie, a gun movie, a knife movie, fire movie, dick movie. It's got everything you could possibly want.
Oh my god, I
in
want to
a
watch it
movie.
again right now.
It's-
Now that you said all that,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's
like, dude,
everything, though. It's just,
Oh.
and there are people that hate it, you know, because it's cool to not like things, and some people just don't like. I get it, whatever. You know,
right, I mean, this is not a movie for everybody, really.
No,
I mean,
it's not. But
it's a movie for a lot of people, and especially horror fans. I think you can enjoy it, but it's not like I'm going to go tell grandma, hey, go watch this one.
But it's another one that I see on fucking horror groups where I just put Mandy in and I'm 15 minutes in, and does this movie pick up? Because I fucking hate it. It's like, what? Why? Why can't people just put their fucking phones away, watch a movie, and fucking enjoy it or not enjoy it, and then say, hey, I popped Mandy in, I made it about an hour and 20, and I said, you know what, I'm out. Okay, that's your fucking bad. But you don't have to fucking tell everybody. People aren't sitting there waiting going, oh, is he going to like the movie? Okay. No.
Well, I did tweet about Bird Box as soon as I saw it, and I said it was a dumb movie for dumb people. So I
Right.
guess I'm also guilty of this
No,
sort
no,
of
no,
thing.
but not like 5 minutes in or 10 minutes into the movie and then doing a complete, like you can't enjoy a movie if you're not watching it. Like a movie, you need to be immersed and see it and hear it. That's
Right.
That's the point of it. It's like listening to a talk show, but you're typing. You can't do both. Maybe you can, but I'm
I
saying
can.
no. Right, yeah, I know you can't, but I'm saying you can't like totally hear the entire full conversation. You know, there are going to be parts that you're going to miss that you're like, oh, did they say that? Or you might have to rewind it and miss it.
Right. Like Cheddar Goblin.
There's a Cheddar Goblin movie. It's
Man,
it's
I mean,
it's just fucking cool. And if you
It
didn't like
is.
Beyond the Black Rainbow because it was slow, well, this one starts off like that, but then it turns into like a Death Wish movie and like a fucking like Best Little Whorehouse in Texas movie, and and it also turns into like Pulp Fiction and what else, Nick? With the Gimp dude, you know,
yeah, and it feels like
Seven.
Now the movie is very self-contained. Like there's nothing going on outside of this movie, and yet it feels like it has such lore to it. You know,
A video
It feels-
game movie.
it could have been. There's animation in it.
There's animation movie.
Man, and it
There's
takes place in the 80s,
claymation
but,
movie.
but without being like weirdly 80s horrific or anything like that.
Nicolas Cage wax melting face movie.
Lumberjack, he's a lumberjack. Yeah,
Lumberjack. There's Aviator Glasses movie.
there's gore. There's an ambiguous ending.
There's a giant axe movie.
I mean, I really just I love it, and I feel like
You know what's a
I
great
feel
double
like-
bill with this? This and Father's Day.
Yeah, no, dude, it feels like Father's Day at times, even though it's a completely different movie than Father's Day was. But the Cheddar Goblin part feels like it belongs in that movie, and even Nicolas Cage in the movie is like,
Ahab.
what the fuck is a Cheddar Goblin? You know, it's so good.
It is.
Now I feel like
It's got.
I don't know. Go watch Mandy.
It's a credits movie. It has music. It has
it
a
has-
haunting
yeah.
score.
It has
By,
metal.
It has new metal. It has.
No, it does not.
I know.
That does not.
Well, it has-
But anyway,
It has people that look like they're in Guar movie.
oh yeah, there's that. No, man. I mean, so much of that. Oh, every scene of Mandy I love, and in fact, we will be talking about it next year on the best of the decade. I'm sure it's probably going to be in my top 10 for the decade. I absolutely love it.
I want to talk about our listeners.
Well, hang on. Before we talk about the listeners,
Fuck them.
I think we need to
Okay.
I think we just need to say this one thing because it's like a little weird.
Mhm.
Both of us now we don't discuss the movie list beforehand. We just happen to like the same movies this year and completely different movies. But the three movies I feel like that are not on our top 5 that people are going to hate us for are Hereditary, A Quiet Place, and Halloween.
Mhm.
Do you want to say anything about those movies? I mean,
I liked all of them. I did, but they're not my number ones. I mean, Halloween was close, but Assassination Nation assassinated it.
you know, I liked Halloween enough. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it. But to me, it just wasn't. I don't even think it was as good as Strangers Pray at Night, for that matter.
No, but
and-
I ordered the Blu-ray, and it'll be here on Tuesday.
Quiet Place, as you know, I am the only person who does not like that movie because it is the quiet Bird Box, essentially. It's better than Bird Box, I'll give it that. But it's too dumb for me to enjoy. It's a well-made movie, but I can't sit there and watch a movie and be like unraveling the entire plot in my brain.
It's not a Mandy movie. And
No, it's not.
It was
You ain't got no yelling Nicolas Cage pouring whiskey in his wounds. You know, you put that in the movie, maybe I'll like it. But what's the other one? Oh, Hereditary. I enjoyed it. It's like I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. We reviewed it. I think it was a little bit. I still think it's overrated because everybody's talking about it like, oh man, that movie's going to be around in people's minds forever. and I don't even think it is.
Nah.
I think
I just think,
I think it's
they
got-
were. I'm not going to spoil it. I don't want to spoil Hereditary. It's
Well,
the whole the flossing thing. Let's call it.
yeah. No,
That's what freaked people out because it was a certain person that was doing that, and they're like, "But wait a minute, you can't do that in this movie because."
right. And I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in that movie that puts it above most supernatural movies, but overall, it didn't kick my
And
ass
Mandy's
like I
a
wanted.
supernatural movie. It's
Yeah.
it's a devil
got-
movie. It's a
got
Satan
hippies
movie.
singing songs in it about themselves and about how great they are.
You know what else?
Got old people fucking in Mandy.
Before we begin, I just watched Bad Times at the El Royale.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's fucking cool. But
Cool.
it's
I was hoping it was.
2 hours and 20 minutes long, though, so keep
That's
that
a
in
little
mind.
hard.
It is a little long, but I don't want to spoil where it goes. But go ahead. Sorry.
We can't talk about our listener picks yet
Why not?
because we did our top 5.
Oh,
Now
we didn't do our bottom one.
Bottom one.
Oh, okay. I'll just go right into mine.
Okay, your worst horror movie of the year that came out this year, maybe that you saw this year or something.
Yep.
What is it?
Tales from the Hood 2 sucked.
Whoa, really? That's your worst, huh?
It was fucking dreadful. Dude, it felt like somebody... And it's the same guy that worked on the first one. And him and... what's his name? Worked on this. Like, it's... And I like the filmmaker. It just felt like... you know how Tales from the Hood... How well shot it was and pretty and all that? This one felt like a 1990s direct-to-video schlockfest, except the stories weren't even that good, and it felt like it just felt like it was hokey, like there was something wrong. It just felt like something was not there, and there are tons of shit that they could have put in this in the movie, kind of like Assassination Nation did, and does actually, that would comment on today, and they do it in this, but they do it in like a comical way and like a buffoonery way. It's really fucking terrible, and I love Keith David, and I feel bad for Keith David that he's in the movie. It's just, I put it on. I was like, all right, I'm going to watch some Tales from the Hood. And I'm like, it was going to be like a new segment I was going to do on the Jack and Nick horror show, where I was going to say, it was going to be called Wish. It was the Wish thing, where it's like, hey, Nick, you say, yeah, Jack. And I say, saw Tales from the Hood too. And you say, yeah, wish I hadn't. And then that's it. And then you go, hey, Jack. And I say, what? And you go, guess what I watched? And I say, what? And you go, Bird Box. Oh, yeah? And then you go, wish I hadn't. And then that's what we would do back and forth until wish you had seen it, you know.
Right. To be clear,
But we didn't do that segment.
Bird Box, I didn't hate it overall. I just thought it was really dumb.
Is that your worst?
No way. That
Okay.
movie might be like a C, a straight C, maybe a C minus. It's like a mediocre, really dumb movie, Bird Box. I'm poking fun at it here. I really had trouble making it all the way through, but it's just a boring, dumb movie. Okay?
Okay.
You want to talk about bad movies, you could talk about a movie like the Day of the Dead remake, Day of the Dead Bloodline, that came out this year, that I think is like the second Day of the Dead remake.
Yes, it is.
And I love Day of the Dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I'm just talking about that movie. That movie's not actually my least favorite movie of the year. And it is one of my least favorites, though. I'm telling you.
What is it?
Don't watch that movie. I think that one was on Netflix for a little, wasn't it? Day of the Dead Bloodline? I don't know. Don't watch it, kids. Don't give that thing your eyeball time, okay? Another movie that you should completely avoid, and it is my least favorite movie of the year. This movie is one of the most terrible fucking things I have seen with these eyes. And it's on Shudder. And Shudder's all like, oh, this one's an artistic curation, blah blah blah, right? We put it in a museum. Hey, Shudder, fuck you on that one. Shudder's got a lot of good programming, and I'm totally like a Shudder nut. I went from not liking Shudder to totally loving Shudder for various reasons.
Joe Bob.
But yeah, but this reason makes me still hate it in my heart. It is the movie called Are We Not Cats?
Oh yeah.
And I've already talked about it a little bit on the show, but it is completely disgusting in a gross way. Not in a fun, disgusting, ooh, look at that guy getting his balls ripped off way. You know, like a trauma movie. That's fun. That's fun disgusting. This movie was like, I'll tell you what it's about. It's a Romeo and Juliet story, except Romeo and Juliet are both fucked up kids who have no jobs and don't do anything with their lives, and they both have an affliction, a mental disorder where they eat their own. I'm almost gagging talking about this movie. They eat their own hair, okay? And you can hear me. I'm having trouble not throwing up as I talk about this movie.
Imagine that getting stuck in your teeth.
Oh my God. And so anyway, they start falling in love and they start eating each other's hair, but the girl has a boyfriend. And why is it a horror movie? I'm not entirely sure, but it is. But there's a horrific part towards the end where there's like they're often secluded, like upstate New York, and like they need an ambulance to come because the girl has got a knot in her stomach from all the hair. Oh my God, I'm struggling. It is so gross. And like the dude ends up like, and I'm ruining the movie. I don't care. The dude ends up cutting open the girl and pulling out the knot of hair from her stomach, and then the movie ends. Like he goes to the hospital to visit her.
You know what?
That's the end of the movie. That's the whole movie is just them hanging around, doing nothing, eating their hair, eating each other's hair to the point that they get a stomach blockage made out of hair, and I'm swallowing. I have to have a drink.
While you're drinking, I do want to have.
I'm not even kidding.
I
It's
do have
so
a couple.
gross.
Well, actually, one of them is on somebody's list of movies, but one movie that I was kind of let down with was The Meg.
The Meg?
Not that I was expecting much from it.
Did people eat each other's hair?
No, but it was not good. It was just, It was like way too long, and it could have been a lot better, but sorry, I just had to mention it. I was trying to get your mind off the hair eating.
But that movie is still a horror movie because there's that one horrible part where he pulls out the hair wad from the girl, and I mean they show you it, right?
Uh-huh.
They show you it, and they nickname it like the Big Beaver Wad or something. It happens in the movie. I'm not even kidding. It is a boring movie that completely grossed me out, and like it ruined me in a way. It ruined me. And I don't mean that in an artistic and fun way. I mean, I don't appreciate watching you eat each other's hair. Like, I've seen bad movies in my time. I have sought them out. That was one of the lowest experiences I have had in a long time watching a movie. It felt much like when I watched Jack and Diane a couple of years ago for the old podcast, the movie Jack and Diane, which is horrible. But this movie was pretty much one half step worse than that, because it was like the same type of thing of these like aloof kids hanging out. But then instead of just being lesbians and weird and werewolves, like in Jack and Diane, in Are We Not Cats, they lick each other's hair off their bodies like cats.
I guess they were going for a Devo thing there with the Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. But
I highly doubt it,
I
because they did have to wear hats like Devo, not Devo's hats, but they had to wear hats.
But they were
because
cats.
They had no hair. Anyway,
Cats rhymes with.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there are 3 movies that would probably be either number 5 or above that I haven't watched yet.
Really?
Yeah, but I haven't watched them. It would be Let the Corpses Tan, Hellfest,
Right.
and The House of Jack built, which I still have yet to see, as well as Suspiria 2018. I haven't watched any of those movies, and I really want to.
No, a bunch of those are on my list too. I did not see Suspiria, and I mean,
I'm getting it at the end of the year, this month. But
that's when it comes out on Blu-ray, right?
Yep.
So that one I almost wish could be on next year's list, but it was in theaters and stuff. So I don't know. We'll decide at the end of the year where that one goes. But I might not even put that in my top 5 because, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of the original Suspiria.
I know. Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
but this one, I just want to see it. I just want to see it and let it be what it is, and maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe I won't. But the other one, House of Jack built. I don't know how I missed that. I wanted to see it for the past month and didn't. And the other one you said as well. What was it?
Hellfest. I did see Bloodfest, which I enjoyed actually.
Right, Hellfest I wanted to see because I hear it's that same vibe as the Strangers Pray at Night, and where it's a good dumb slasher movie. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see that, and I did not yet. Because fucking life. It was another one that we were going to watch instead of, Venom. But we watched Venom. And that's totally not a horror movie, so I'm not going to talk about it here.
You're going to be so mad when you watch Brawl in Cell Block 99. You're going to be so mad. You're going to be like, I can't believe we didn't watch this before. I fucking hate you.
I don't have a lot of time for movies, especially because I'm trying, as we know, to get out of Red Dead Redemption. For God's sake.
Yeah,
I beat the game, and now there's an epilogue at the end of the game that is like another 10 to 20 hours of gameplay. And I'm trying, dude. I'm trying
real hard, Ringo.
We just need some money, Dutch. So anyway, would you like to go to the Facebook listings?
Yes, we did reach out to everybody on Facebook. Sorry we couldn't do Twitter because we didn't have the password today.
For some reason.
But listeners, I want to mention something before we begin this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what I put was we want to know what are your favorite and least favorite movies of 2018. Now, granted, that is a general question. The show is called the Jack and Nick Horror Show. So we'll read all your responses, but from this point forward, we are going to say we want to know what horror movies are your favorite horror movies and least horror favorite movies.
Dude, I feel like we go through this every single year. We do. Every single year we forget to write what's your favorite horror.
But it's like we take it for granted and we got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, some of yous paid attention and the other ones were like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna say everything. And that's fine. Sometimes you do need a palate cleanser, so that's cool. All right, so Ben K, we'll say, or even though we don't read last names, but if you want us to read your last names, let us know. Favorites. He said Hell House, LLC 2. Did you see that, Nick? No?
You know what? I'm trying to find it on here, but it's all out of order because Facebook is like, do you want the comments in most relevant order?
I have it in
all comments. I fucking Facebook, get your shit together.
I have it in order. So
I don't know. So yeah, Ben said
he said Hell House LLC 2, which I saw most of the first one and I just checked out because I kind of had other shit going on.
I watched both.
What did you think?
I thought part 2 was better than part 1. I watched them both. I watched them back to back, so I clearly didn't have a problem with them.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hell House is about it's a found footage movie following a group of young 20-somethings as they start up their own haunted what do you call it? Like attraction, like a Halloween attraction at an old abandoned hotel.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of contrived found footage. Why would they be filming this moments?
Right.
And once you kind of get past that, it's an okay movie. It's okay. They're okay. I don't love them. Anyway,
well, I think the rest of his list we're both going to agree and disagree with. Okay, here we go. Another favorite is A Quiet Place, which I know you are not extremely fond of, but it wouldn't be one of your favorites at all.
No, it wouldn't be a favorite, but it's definitely not a hated movie, and it's not even a bad movie. It's like B minus in my mind.
Okay. You Might Be the Killer is his other favorite. Have you
Now
watched it?
I started watching that. It's on
Yeah.
some streaming service.
Yeah, you see, you know what's funny? I fucking saw it, and I started watching it, and then I stopped because I already saw Final Girls. I already saw Student Bodies. I've already.
We got to describe it a little.
Okay,
We gotta describe
so
it
it's
for the people.
basically it's the Final Girls and Student Bodies. And there you have
Okay,
it.
I'll describe it a little. It is a movie. You Might Be the Killer, and what it is a dude is at a
And
camp.
Dude Bro Party Massacre, I saw that too.
Oh yeah, Dude Bro Party Massacre is much better than this.
Yeah.
But it is a dude is at a camp, and it's played by
Fran Kranz from
Fran
Cabin in
Kranz.
the Woods. Yeah.
from Cabin in the Woods, who was a stoner guy. He's now a camp counselor, and the camp is under siege by a stalker killer of some sort of slasher dude.
Right.
And he doesn't know what to do. All these people keep getting dead. So he calls his friend who works
Allison
at
Hannigan, at a video
Allison
store.
Hannigan. No, comic book store.
Oh, comic books, right?
Because she's his horror movie friend, and she's going to lead him through what is this horror movie scenario. that he
There's
seems
nothing
to be-
out there exists. The movie exists. It's called There's Nothing Out There. Go on.
Anyway, so she works at this place, and
Yeah.
no. We got to at least set it up. So
No,
then
go
she's
ahead.
talking to him on the phone,
Uh-huh.
and this happens right away in the first 20 minutes, and it's not something that is like going to spoil the movie, because it's literally the title of the movie. She says to him, "Hey, you might be the killer because you keep blacking out every time that these murders happen, and then you wake up with blood all over you."
So, my problem with the movie, did you see Groundhog Day, Nick?
Yes, of
You know
course.
what Bill Murray faces in Groundhog Day? The same day over and over again. Except this movie, I faced the same movie over and over again. Because it's like, hey, Allison Hannigan, yeah, you might be the killer. I'm a little bit bigger now because I'm a mom, but I know horror movies. Oh, yeah? Well, I know horror movies too. Oh, my God, I just saw blood. And then they go to a flashback, and then a counselor gets killed, and it has dead counselors, and it has a total ding, ding, ding.
Right.
Like, yeah, like every time a counselor gets killed, they show the total, which is exactly what Student Bodies did when it had body count, and it had a little ding, ding, ding. But
Yeah.
but it's the same scenes over and over again. You don't get to know any of the characters. It's like, oh, here's these disposable camp counselors because it's like Friday the 13th. It's not good. Sorry, it's not a good movie.
It is pretty much
People
the
love
same,
it. People love this movie.
I don't understand. You know what? I think it's got to be that they're younger people than us who did
must
not
be,
already.
yeah.
Because, dude, I've seen this same deconstruction of slasher movies 1,000 times.
I made one.
And you literally did. Yeah, your movie that you made was
But
literally.
it was not like this at all. It's
But dude, what I've said about your movie, that if people watched it today having never seen it,
Uh-huh.
I think that people would think the same thing that we think about this movie, where it's like, well, I've seen it. Like your
I
idea,
don't know.
your movie came out
Yeah.
2008 is when you made your movie.
Yep.
Then it was still a fresh idea because it was only 2
But yeah,
years
well, yeah,
removed
it
from
was. Yeah, it was.
Leslie Vernon, which is probably the best.
It was in almost in the can when Leslie Vernon was also filming at the same time.
Right, because people have the same ideas at the same time.
At the same
all the time.
yeah, all the time.
But the what is it? The Leslie Vernon movie came out 12, 13 years ago now. I am over these sort of deconstruction of slasher movies. I don't need to see your clever take on even like the Final Girl idea that from Final Girls.
But
I'm
that
done
was a
with-
good movie, though. That was.
I don't care. I
I
don't care.
know.
I'm done with seeing. You know what movies I want to see instead? I want to see good
Strangers Pray at
actual.
Night.
Exactly. I want to see Hellfest. I want to see actual slasher movies that are good and stop deconstructing them.
And stop basing them in the fucking 80s, even
Right.
though that
Don't
one's
stop
not 80s.
basing it in the 80s for no reason. Just make it cool. Just make a slasher and make it cool.
Yep.
It's
And-
hard to do. I know it's hard to do. But, dude, try that instead of trying this. So, anyway, I'm sorry, Ben.
But it's
We,
it's that you know, people go, well, horror movies aren't scary anymore. Stop making spoofs. You won't have the horror movies are scary until they're not necessarily scary, but it's like when you have Jason and Freddy shirtless as fucking male models on Facebook, it makes them ridiculous looking, and it makes them not scary. If you have Ghostface with his wang out, it's not scary. It makes it worse than you could possibly. Just let it exist as its own. Stop with this shit. You might be the killer. People love it. I mean, they're like, oh my god, this is one of the funniest movies I've seen.
I didn't hate it.
I
didn't hate it.
It took me 6 times.
Really?
6.
I didn't finish it.
Me neither. I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop because I'm getting annoyed. This is annoying. It's like, when it comes to like, horror, we got the camp counselors, horror, here's the ding, I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's the movie, but it's like the same scene over and over again. Here's the camp counselor, they're gonna get killed. How many camp counselors are dead at this time?
Right. I mean, that's part of the problem with it, is that it's like, it's not funny to me, at least.
Imagine playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay.
Sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Ben.
No, Ben, I'm sorry too, but
we don't mean to tear your picks apart.
Anyway, but imagine playing Battlefront 2, and you choose the heavy, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go, boom, I'm dead. Okay, now you gotta start over. Boom, I'm dead. And then you gotta start over. Boom.
This is literally how I play Star Wars.
That's how you play Star Wars Battlefront 2. But guess what? You keep playing. Why? Because it's fun. Not a movie. You can't watch a movie that does that. If you watch a movie of Battlefront 2, you're gonna be like, this sucks. Anyway, sorry, Ben. I apologize. I'm not a fan. Least favorite
of Ben? You're not a fan of Ben?
No, I like Ben. I just don't. I didn't care for He Might Be the Killer. I thought it was. I guess Ponzi. I don't know. It was. Anyway, least favorite.
I like the other ones. Oh yeah, his least favorite for the year.
Hereditary by a long shot, and I can understand somebody not liking Hereditary.
It's almost refreshing to hear someone say that. It's almost refreshing to hear someone because I feel like there's a lot of people who actually liked it less. But they have to act
like they liked it. Same with Mandy. Honestly, I'm going to be honest about that. Like, I am honest about it. But people love Mandy, but some people love Mandy because other people love Mandy. And then they're going to be the assholes that are going to be like a year or two later, you know what? I kind of don't like Mandy. That's what's going to happen with that.
You know what? There are, above all else, always be honest. With me and Jack, right. I don't care if you hated something I loved. I don't care if you love something I hate. Just be honest about it.
Right.
Don't be stupid. Don't try and if you ever talk to us on Twitter or anything else, don't try and kiss our asses with, oh, I like the same movies as you guys. Be like, I disagree with you on this one, but I like this one. That's how you have a conversation.
You're a fucking asshole for not liking He Might Be the Killer. I'm like, okay, maybe I am a fucking asshole.
So anyway.
Ben, we do love you, and we do appreciate your feedback, so thank you very much. Next is Steven. Oh, Steven. His favorite is Into the Spider-Verse. I haven't seen it, and I really want to see it. I heard great things about it. But guess what? It's not horror. Okay.
Right. That's right. We're a horror podcast.
Least favorite. The Nutcracker in the Four Realms. You know what else is good? Your next comment. Or not good? Your next comment. Hereditary is the one I kind of regret seeing the most. Because since I had a kid, that movie is just not Steve safe anymore. But it's a very good movie in many ways. And there's a lot I admire about it. Including, in a way, its ability to fuck me up. So, Steve, that's a horror movie. We'll talk about that one.
Yeah, Hereditary, we just talked about. And, the way he puts it, that there are things to admire in the movie, absolutely. I think that there are I could name at least 3 or 4 things in that movie that I thought were really good. But I can name a lot of it that I thought was the same old supernatural stuff all again and again. And I have a whole review of it that I did with my buddy Jack on the Jack and Nick Horror Show.
Oh, It's a horror show here. So let's go through our favorite listener of all time. No, we don't judge his. We just Sean Kelly has his own segment.
Right.
Come on, people, you got to step it up. Sean, who I love Sean Kelly. He's one of my favorite people of all time, and I've never met the guy. However, his favorites: Into the Spider-Verse, Sean Kelly, not a horror movie, but I will be watching it because I heard nothing but great things about it. All right, Hereditary is one of his favorites. Satan's Slaves, which I haven't seen, but I heard good things about. Nick,
I saw it.
Did you
Yes,
like
I did. It was all right. Wasn't bad. It was interesting. Not great, but I enjoyed it.
Black Panther? I enjoyed.
I didn't.
You didn't?
Oh my God!
No.
You can't say that Black Panther wasn't that great. No, I thought it was like Black Panther. I just wasn't into.
For me, it was just like action, fun. And
well, yeah,
action,
but
action.
it was for me. It was like a Marvel movie that I kind of wasn't into, and there are a few Marvel movies that I'm not into, and that was one of them.
I enjoyed the shit out of it, but
I didn't hate it at all, and it was compared to it is better than every DC movie for fuck's sake.
It's better than Thor, I assume, right?
Not horror.
No. Anyway.
Not Thor nor Black Panther.
Guess what else is not horror? Eighth Grade, which else he picked. I haven't seen it. I heard of really good things about it, but
I don't know what it's about, but I've heard about it. But don't tell me what it's about because this is a horror thing.
He chose Annihilation as well. See,
I wonder if that was his number 4.
Probably. The Ritual, which I did see.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it in my top 5. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but it was be like maybe a solid C or C plus, maybe.
It may make my top 10.
Overlord.
I didn't put 10.
Overlord, I really want to see. I didn't get to see that as well.
Yeah, that one is one that I missed. I wanted to see it. It looked like Wolfenstein.
I heard it was like Reanimator.
I want to see it, dude. I really do, but I can't see all the movies in the theater. I need the money, Dutch.
That's a good boy. House with the Clock in its Walls. That I haven't watched.
I want to see it.
So do I, but I'm sorry, man. We don't have much time to.
But that one's a kids movie.
It's a
so
kids
if
movie.
we don't see it, we could say, well, it's a kids movie.
Yeah, it's a kids movie. We're not okay.
Even though we totally wanted to.
Set It Up. What's that one?
No idea.
Me neither. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what Set It Up. I can look it up while I'm saying Upgrade. Have you seen Upgrade, Nick?
No. But was that horror or what? Because I've heard it's not really horror.
It's not really horror, but it has some awesome horror elements to it. One of the bad guys in it kind of resembles District 9 and Sharto Copley. One of the dudes kind of resembles him, and it kind of feels like a Neil Blomkamp movie, except Lee Winnell stepped away from the James Wan-verse and made something kind of great.
Is that why they're calling it a horror movie? Because Lee Winnell wrote it.
It's possible, but I wouldn't say. It's hard to say. I kind of don't want to ruin things. It's kind of like body horror. It's kind of like a Cronenberg. If Cronenberg made an action exploitation movie, it's kind of like Blade Runner-ish too. It's kind of like The Guest as well. Kind of like
his least movies.
Oh, by the way, Set It Up was comedy romance. I definitely didn't see it. I'm sorry, dude.
I can't.
Least favorite, Vox Lux.
Don't know what it is.
Vox Lux, I have IMDb here, so I'm going to look it up, is a movie with Natalie Portman, Jude Law, Willem Dafoe, Stacey Martin, and it's a drama music. An unusual set of circumstances brings an unexpected success to a.
This is not a horror movie.
It's not a horror.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Life Itself, which I don't care about.
Life Itself. What is that?
I meant the movie Life itself.
Oh,
not-
I thought it just meant life itself. I was like,
Well, I also don't give a fuck about that. The movie Rings was the third Ring movie, and that one actually came out last year, and it sucked balls.
So
I couldn't
you
finish
can agree
it.
with that least favorite. And sadly, Tales from the Hood 2, biggest disappointment for this year. This is why Sean Kelly and I love Sean Kelly.
Right.
Because we agree on this shit. Yeah, it's a shit fest. It really is. It's like Nick, imagine we do the Jack and Nick horror show, and then we start to record, and then you start talking with a nasally voice and agree with everything I like.
Wait, isn't that kind of the show? Except
Never
by
mind.
accident.
Anyway, all right, that went over people's heads. Okay, so Desmond Quinn. I said his last name. Okay, so Desmond, congratulations, you are now famous
Oops.
by 5 people. Okay, we have he has favorites. Mandy and Annihilation are my top 2.
Good.
We like you. That's why we've read your full name. No kidding, Ben. I really wish I had seen, or I would have seen Annihilation in theaters. Love the score and the visuals for both. So, awesome. Least favorite would be Hold the Dark. Have you seen Hold the Dark?
No, but I wanted to. That is a movie that is currently on Netflix, starring the guy who plays Bernard in Westworld, and it is a movie made by the guy who made Blue Ruin, a movie that I love, and Macon Blair is either in it or wrote it or something, and that's all sounds like good stuff to me, but I've heard it's a little dull.
Yep. Oh, one thing I did want to mention is on Hulu, if you have Hulu, that movie, The Body, which is the series. They're doing a movie a month for whatever the holiday is that month. The Body, which was their October movie, is really great. I definitely recommend that. But continuing, let's see. I just dawned on me. But anyway, least favorite would be Hold the Dark. I ended up turning it off halfway through. Okay, I'm sorry, Desmond. I guess I heard it's very boring, but okay. Timmy. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm sorry, Tim. So Tim says, Tim W. Tim, if you want us to say your full name, we'll say your full name. We'll also give your address on there. I have favorites, or he has favorites. Cold Skin. Have you seen Cold Skin, Nick?
No, do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's something I had today when I was outside working.
Gross.
Hey, no, it's a action horror sci-fi thriller. In 1914, a young man arrives at a remote island near the Antarctic Circle to take the post of a weather observer, only to find himself trapped in a watchtower besieged by deadly creatures which live in hiding on the island. That sounds like a fun movie.
Okay.
It could be.
I don't know. I have trouble with anything that took place in the early 1900s that's not Red Dead Redemption.
Elementary, the blacksmith and the devil.
I tried watching it, but it's in another language, and when you feel like not watching something in another language, and you do, and then you end up falling asleep watching it because you're reading too much, because you were too tired and you shouldn't have attempted it. That's what happened to me with that movie. So I really can't even reflect on the movie because I was falling asleep reading it when I should not have watched a movie with subtitles at that time.
Okay.
It's on Netflix, people.
It is.
So you can go watch it and make your own decision, but make sure you're not tired when you watch it. That's what I got to say about that.
All right, so what else he chose is... Where are you at? Oh, Mandy. We discussed that at length, yes.
Yes, high five.
High five. And Marrowbone, which I really wanted to see, but I didn't. And I think it's on Hulu, and I'm going to watch it in my VR theater. But
What the fuck is Marrowbone?
it's a movie that had, what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch. it's like a family or something. Let me see. Hang on. Yeah, a young man and his three younger siblings who have kept their secret the death of their beloved mother, in order to remain together, are plagued by a sinister presence in the sprawling manor in which they live.
Okay.
It looks really cool. I really want to see it. It's got what's his name in it too, Charlie Heaton. I really like Anya Taylor Joy a lot. I don't know why. She just has like a weird, beautiful alien thing to her. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No.
She looks like an alien. She looks like a woman, but like a woman that could also be an alien. She's hot.
Yeah, I really have problems with that for reasons.
No, but she's a good actress. I mean, she's fantastic. I saw her in that movie Thoroughbreds, which I don't know. It's kind of horror, but it's more of like a thriller. Maybe it is a horror. I guess it is, but you don't see anything. You don't see any murder in it. It's just like, hey, we're going into another room. Hey, we just have blood on us. Least favorites: Tragedy Girls and Mon Monsters. So fuck you. I like Tragedy Girls.
You did?
Oh, I love Tragedy Girls. But you know what? I totally understand people not liking Tragedy Girls. Do you know why?
No.
Because it makes you feel like shit by the end of the movie. That's why. It's very dark, and I totally get it's kind of like the same thing with the my disagreement of that other one, the CR-85. Oh, you might be the killer. It's kind of like where people like that, they would not like Tragedy Girls, because Tragedy Girls kind of feels like Assassination Nation too, in a way, but it's not. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I even put it in my top last year or when. I think it came out last year. It was last year, wasn't it? But I didn't get it till February of last year or this year. I don't know. But I enjoyed Tragedy Girls. Monsters I haven't seen. Nick?
It's on Shudder.
Oh,
That's
it is.
all I know about it.
Yeah. A group of teenagers capture a man-eating monster.
Great. Next.
Okay. We're almost done. We're at the home
This is
stretch
actually the last comment.
here. Yeah. God damn it, it's Mike Merriman.
Mike Merriman.
Mike Merriman is a new guy. No, Mike, we love Mike. Mike's fun. Mike writes, favorite, Hereditary, Mandy, Terrified, not Terrifier, Terrified. That's the one that's on Shudder, right?
Yeah, I've seen both Terrifier and Terrified, and I enjoyed them both. Probably liked Terrifier more, but Terrified was okay.
I heard it was. It's the same problem. Like, if it's a foreign film, I really like foreign films, but I have to give it my utmost attention, and I have to sit down and
not fall asleep.
Not fall asleep, right? And Pyewacket, which it's funny, I almost purchased without seeing, because a lot of movies I blind buy, but it has like a $17 price tag, which I don't feel like spending $17 on a movie that I haven't seen, and I don't know if it has commentary, so it's not really worth it. But yeah, Pyewacket I heard is really good. It's about like a girl who hates her mom, so she puts a curse on her, and bad things happen. But anyway, he said, least favorite. I actually managed to avoid the bad ones. Bullshit. Sorry, I was just coughing. I wasn't really coughing. I was just trying to. You heard what I said. But Open House and Tao on Netflix were pretty bad. Now,
I didn't see either.
No, Tao, it looked good in the trailer, and then when it came to actually watching it, I was like, I didn't feel like it.
Yep.
And Open House, nah, it kind of had the James Wan-y feel. Not that James Wan sucks or anything. It's just like, okay, I'm done with this shit.
Yep.
However, Sean Kellyman wrote, "Oh shit, forgot Pyewacket was this year." Really like that one.
Did you call him Sean Kellyman?
No. Well, I was probably looking at Kelly and Merriman. I'm really tired, by the way. My eyes are getting crossed. But so if Sean Kelly really liked Pyewacket, then I might have to buy it. And then he said, "Yeah, I saw it super late. It's totally my kind of flick." But then Mike Merriman's kind of flick, so maybe I won't buy it. We just bust Mike's balls. We like Mike.
Because it's been around so long.
Yes, but really, thank you to those who reached out to us and gave us your feedback for your favorites and least favorites of the year. Next year, it's going to have horror written all over the effing thing. So, Nick,
Right.
before we go, there is one movie that I'm definitely want to mention for 2019 that I'm looking forward to, and it's definitely going to be on our episode. It's going to be Jordan Peele's Us.
Oh my God, yeah, dude. That would be the first one of 2019 that I'm really looking forward to. That and also Rob Zombie's, well, if it comes out next year, it's supposed to come out next year, but Rob Zombie, what is it? The Three from Hell.
Yep, that is coming out. So I wonder if it's coming out to theaters.
Man, I don't trust nothing with Rob Zombie.
No?
Other than I watch all of his movies. Nope.
But
yeah, and
well,
the Jordan Peele movie looks excellent.
I was about to play it too, but I'm not. I can't play it on here. The thing that really got me was the music, which is it's a I guess there's a rap group that sampled Club Nouveau's "Why You Treat Me So Bad." That's the thing that throughout the whole trailer. And I'm like, I'm so glad that he sampled that song and put that in the trailer, because I always thought of that song as a horror song, like the "Why You Treat Me So Bad." It just has that feel to it. You should look it up, Nick. I'm almost guaranteeing it's not in your collection.
No, it's not. But I heard it in the trailer.
Yeah, but I guess somebody sampled the rap version of it, but the original Club Nouveau, the background, it's like boom, boom, it's really cool. I can't wait for that movie. I don't know what else is coming out in 2019 that I'm looking forward to.
I don't know. I didn't. Normally, I prepare a list or something, but I did not today.
It's almost like nobody knows what the fuck's coming out until Netflix goes, "Well, here's some movies."
Right. Now Netflix has been like, sometimes they're just like, here's something that's coming out next week. It's camp.
There's It Chapter 2.
Oh, It Chapter 2.
That's going to be good. I'm sure Pet Sematary remake looks good. The Starry Eyes guys did it, though, so fuck you.
Well, that doesn't mean that I'm going to like it.
I did reread the book, by the way, and the book is definitely better than the original movie, but I still like the original movie for what it was. Happy Death Day 2.
I still have to see the original.
Oh my
god,
it's so much fun. I think that was in my top 5 last year. And
it was.
Guess what else they have on the slate? World War Z 2.
That one ain't happening.
By the way, did you see the trailer for the Netflix movie Velvet Buzzsaw with Jake Gyllenhaal?
It was in my recommended videos today, but I did not watch it.
I would say maybe don't watch it because it shows a lot.
Okay.
A lot of death scenes of major characters, and I'm like, I don't want that spoiled. So hopefully I forget it by the time it comes out, next week.
But who knows what else Netflix is going to suddenly drop on us, right?
Yeah, no,
that's
it's
the way it is.
Well,
I'm serious.
I think it might have been Sean that puts it out. And it's like it has this old guy with a bunch of film reels, and it's like, this is how Netflix gives you movies. Well, here's some movies, I guess.
Yeah,
it really is. They're like, oh, by the way, this movie's out.
Dude, I think we recorded too long. We have to stop. The people don't care.
No, they do. They like us.
Tune in to our next episode when we discuss something.
The 10 of the last 10 years.
I'm really hoping that we have an episode in between, you know, like maybe if we could do a monthly episode.
Oh, that would be cool. It would be great if we could do it weekly, but
I know. We did a ton of episodes last year. I'm looking at the list right here. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
listen,
6, 7,
everybody, listen to Nick
9,
count.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14 episodes last year. That's so kick-ass.
So that's like that's more than one a month. That's like 1.1 a month.
Right. 1.1 a month. If we could keep that up. I wonder what movie we'll do next. We haven't actually discussed it, so start thinking about it, Jacko.
Maybe it'll be that Netflix
Jordan
movie.
Peele movie.
No,
Or-
it could be the Velvet Buzzsaw, or we could pick a classic movie like
Yeah, we haven't done one.
something I recently watched called Slash Dance.
Slash Dance.
Slash Dance. It stars women of the Glow Wrestling.
Oh my god. That might be watchable. Well, we'll see.
No,
Anyway, tell the
it
people.
may not be.
Tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye, the people.
Did you say follow us?
Follow us on Twitter at Jack and Nick Horror. Jack and Nick
At
Show.
Chad Nick Show.
Follow me at Jacob K666.
And my tweets are on lockdown at New Jersey Nick on Twitter. But if you want to follow me, just, you know.
You're on
let me
lockdown.
know.
You're not allowed
Yeah,
to
they're
be-
on lockdown.
Why?
Because I'm probably going to be doing a job search soon, and I don't want them to see that I'm a complete fucking weirdo.
Oh, okay.
Talks
Gotcha.
about wrestling and horror movies and video games all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Smart move. But yes, you can at me and give me shit or give me hugs and kisses, whatever. You can send me a friend request on Facebook too if you know my real name.
Right.
But
We might still have a page on Tumblr if they didn't take us down.
yeah, but I may not have. I don't really respond too much on anything much. Anyway, I'll try to. I will. Maybe that'll be my resolution of no. I don't have resolutions. Okay. Thank you for listening, Nick. I will talk with you soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Happy New Year. Wait, no, it's like 10 days removed from New Year's. Well, whatever.
My dog knows that we're finishing recording. He's getting ready to leave. He always knows when we're finishing. All right. Good night.
Good night.